Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know, like a motherfucking smack addict. And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, the one that's sitting right there, yes indeedy. We're going to talk about the worst cellies I ever had. Now I know everyone that's done time, anyone that's ever been incarcerated, hit them yardas, been on them yards, done their thing, has had some bad cellies. It's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it works out. You might squeak by, homes, do one term and get a firma celly. He's doing all day, homes. You guys are celled up. It's all lovely. It's all good. The pressure ain't on. Sabes que? Vámonos. It's good. On we go. But in a menudo style, in a direct fashion, I'm here to tell you, that's not the way it always is. If you've ever been locked up, incarcerated, man, I don't care if it's a fucking youth camp all the way to adult prison. You've had several cellies. Right? And sometimes you get some cellies, they're like brothers, man. You become familia, you become closer than brothers. It's all good in the hood, man. You guys just flow together. You know what I mean? Hey, it's unspoken, bro. There's unspoken rules in cell, and I'm going to tell you about all those, but I'm saying it's unspoken. You fucking get up on your bunk or get on the bottom bunk or whatever the case may be. He already knows what time it is, man. You guys are making room for each other. You guys have to live together in this cell. Okay? And it's hard. For someone that's never lived in close proximity to another man, they've never been celled up, they've never shared the same room, the same toilet, the same sink, the same mirror, so it's good, everything. It's hard. You know, I remember my first time doing it as a youth, they put me in a cell. I thought it was all cool. I thought it was fun. All right, orale, at least I have someone to conversate with, someone to tell war stories to, someone to reminisce with, and it's all good. But eventually, when you're in that close of proximity and you're together, you start getting tired of one another. It's just like being in a relationship with your hyena. After a while, Sasuke, move out of the way. I'm trying to watch the Raiders, right? Get the fuck out of my way. I'm trying to do my thing. You know, everybody needs their own personal space. But when you're locked up and you're incarcerated, you ain't got that coming. See, you're in a cell with another man. And when you hit that yarda, you're there with a lot of different men. That's just the way it is, man. You don't get no single cell time. You don't get no space. Now, there are those who get single cell because they'll kill you, vato, if you're their celly, you know. But that's far and few between. Not everyone has action like that. For the most part, man, you're going to have a celly, and you're not going to dictate who it is, man. They're going to throw in there whoever they want to throw in there, and let the bell be the reason. Whatever the case may be, do you want to fight or fuck, right? It's usually what's going to happen. It's just movies. It's just talk. That's usually what's not going on. But you do have bad cellies at times. And here I'm going to tell you about some of the bad cellies that I had. You know, I remember getting incarcerated as a youth. The first time that I was able to make it into a cell in Fred C. Nellis, they celled us up with whoever they wanted to sell us up with, man. It wasn't all that, hey, so scared, you could pick and choose. And, you know, in some cases, man, if you had juice with the staffa, if you had juice with the placas, you can get at them, get in their ear and make a few moves and make it happen. You know, get in there with the good homeboy and chill. But that doesn't always mean that you and that homeboy are going to see eye to eye in that cell. Whatever happens on that yardan, the functions and the kick-its, that's all good, homes. But when you're living together, there's different rules and regulation. But the Sasuke ain't all good in the hood. But my first celly was a vato named Snoop from Hoover. Yes, he was an Africano. They put me in with an Africano, Snoop from Hoover. And I remember on the yarda, this vato fought everybody. This vato couldn't play basketball without getting a fight, handball without getting a fight, ping pong without getting a fight, fucking thumb wrestling. It always ended in some type of altercation, some type of fight. He was very competitive. That was just his attitude. He didn't give a fuck. He was young. He was rambunctious. He was crazy. He had major mitts. And he liked to test his abilities on people's foreheads. But whatever the case may be, he had an open cell, man. My time came to shine to get into a cell, and they threw me in the cell with him. And I'll tell you right now, he wasn't the greatest of cellies. I'll never disrespect that man. I have nothing but the utmost respect. But he was very quiet. And he liked it to remain quiet. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to hear sounds. So he couldn't even fart, right? He didn't want to hear shit. And me being the way I am, I was young, I was loud, I was boisterous. I was full of energy. I was ready to get off where I was mad at. I like to chop it up, right? I like to conversate. I like to fucking educate my mind. So we didn't gel together. We didn't mesh. Now, there never was no problems where we came to fists or we came to fighting or none of that weird shit, right? We knew we were cellies and we were stuck. But there was a friction building. There was an animosity there. There was like, fuck, I ain't trying to be settled with this guy no more. Our two different stilos clashed, okay? And not in a great way, not in a bad way, just we didn't mix. Sasuke, he was sugar, I was Kool-Aid. I like Kool-Aid without sugar. That's how we're going to do it. And quietly as it's kept, and thank God, man, that celly living right there didn't last too long. He ended up getting shipped to a different compa. Thank God, because it was already getting to a point where it was getting frustrating. You know, and I wasn't trying to disrespect the man, and he wasn't trying to disrespect me. We were partners, man. Outside of the cell was all good in the hood, man. Handball games and shit. I knew to fucking, you know, watch out because they had a bad temper. But we respected each other. That respect was there. But in that cell, that was some rough living, man. Having to be quiet, having to watch fucking what you say. You know, the Vato was very intellectual, so you couldn't tell him nada, homes, because he knew everything. So I was good. Hey, how do you spell the? T-W-E. No, I said, duh. No, that's how you spell it. No, but that ain't right. What? No, hey, come on, homes. You know what I mean? Just the fucking most obvious things. Any little thing he liked to get aggravated with or pick on. And that was it. I was a youngster. I wasn't really tripping, man. I was ready to get down, do whatever I had to do. He was as well. We just didn't mesh. But like I said, it never came to any type of physical altercations. Now, as I grew up and I got older, man, I had a couple good cellies, man. One of my best cellies was the home with Short de Cellies. Fucking, we were like fucking butter and toast. Vato, sabes qué? Hey, everywhere I went, he went, and likewise, man. We just got good together, homes. We were just like brothers. We became familia in that cell. Hey, I already knew what he liked to watch on the tubo. He knew what I liked to watch. So I was scared we liked the same type of music, the same type of hyenas, the same type of everything. The get down was real, and that was great. But I remember getting celled up one time with the homeboy, rest in peace, Turtle de San Fran. And he comes walking in the cell. Now, at this time, I was what they called the grievance clerk in CYA. They gave me this cush job where vatos that were doing grievances would come. I'd give them the paperwork so they can go file them. Of course, they'd give them back to me. I'd rip them back up because I wasn't fucking going to tell no one. And that was what it was, right? But I had the cush job. And being there for so long and having the cush job, I got a big ass, I think it was a 19-inch color TV. I was the only one in Mona Hall and Carl Holton with that TV. So I had to fight for that motherfucker, right? But I had it. And I remember him walking into the cell. He was a tall, skinny Vato, very quiet, man. I knew him as a homeboy, you know, out there on the yard the same way, man, out there in the building. But as far as being celled up, I didn't know his get down and the way he carried himself. But anyways, the Vato comes walking in. And I remember the first thing he said to me was like, look, this is your cell. You can do whatever you want, Holmes. I just want to watch Pinky and the Brain. Right? He wanted to watch Pinky and the Brain. That was his show. It was a cartoon that used to come on back in the 90s. I said, sounds good. That's it? He said, that's it, Holmes. Right? Boom. One of the better cellies, man. We kicked it. A little odd at times. You know, it was a little bit different. Being from a different country, man. But rest in peace. And shout out to that homeboy. He was one of the realest ones I ever met in my life, man. And quietly as it's kept, we got to conversating one day and he made some promises, man. And you know, a year passes by, the Vato gets out and then promises were not kept. And I was like, whatever, man. It's called fucking pillow talking. It's called celly talking. You always make promise your celly the world. So when I get, I'm going to send you money, go to your hyena, make sure you get called. All that, man. And more than likely he's going to go fuck your hyena, fucking never write you and and eat and drink all your Kool-Aid, eat all your Oreos out of the cupboards. That's usually what's going to happen, right? And you know that's coming, but it is what it is. It sounds good when you're talking about it, right? You're living the dream. But anyways, trip out. The homeboy had made some promises. Being from San Fran, we started talking about acid, right? We started talking about acid, doing it, being on a trip. And I had never done it because I was a young kid. And he said, hey, when I get out, I'm going to send you some through the mail. And I said, all right, yeah, it sounds good. But, you know, hey, I believed him. When you're young, man, you're naive. You believe whatever. So a year passes. I forget all about it. It never came, right? Then one day a letter came from Pinky Hernandez, right? And I seen Pinky Hernandez. And then it dawned on me, Pinky in the Brain. Boom, look behind the stampia. Bang, bang. And the winner was, right? Quietly as it's kept, me and the homeboy Shorted indulged. And that's when that term, secret agent, man, was started. The homeboy was over there on a good one. I also was tripping on the acid. And it was a crazy day in the California Youth Authority. Anyways, now I get into prison, right? And I remember, and I'm here to tell you, man, I had a couple bad cellies, man. You don't always have the best. One of my worst cellies was an Uso, right? He was an Uso, man. I got nothing but love for my Uso brothers, man. Nothing but respect. Shout outs to my Uso brothers, first and foremost, right? Cellies, what's up? But this Vato gets in there, right? And we're in Tracy, and I could tell right from the fucking jump, man, that this is not going to be the best of pairings, right? This Vato is not as clean as most Usos are. He's not as humble and as quiet and as well respectful as they are. You know, a great people. He was different. He was a little bit rowdy. He wanted to get on the door. He wanted to chop it up with his homeboys. And I was like, damn, thinking to myself, why didn't they just put this motherfucker with his homeboys, right? But they did it. Okay, quietly as it's kept, man, I put up with this ass for 2 months before I end up shipping out to Corco. And I'll tell you right now, this Vato right here, last I heard him, so he got thrown off a fucking tier over there in High Desert. They were trying to clip his ass, right? That's a true story. And I could tell, man, his attitude wasn't the easy to mesh with, man. It wasn't the best of attitudes. He was one of them youngsters that was very fucking swole, homes, and rambunctious and fucking threw his weight around and just didn't give a fuck. Me, I was already old enough to kick back, mellow out, and just relax. You know, chop game, and it was what it was. But he wasn't on that level. One of the worst Cellies I ever had. The Vato shit smelled bad, right? Anyways, I ended up getting another Celly on my next round of Tracy. Everything through Gorko was perfect, was fine, nothing but righteous homeboys. I ended up on my next term getting a Celly de Sacra. He was a homeboy de Sacra. I'm not going to use his name because he's probably still in the system smelling like cagada. But anyways, the fucker's my Celly, right? And he's a first termer, bro, and he's not clechad up. He's not gamed up. And of course, I'm gaming him up. Okay, at this time, I'm self-secure, not self-security, but I'm the building channel. So my job, I got a lot of work, bro. There's a lot of work to do within the household for the Norteño movement. And so I'm constantly riding wheelas, constantly getting out homeboys, constantly fishing. And I need him as a post. So he'd be laying on his bunk reading a book, bro. First of all, I was a little bit lax where I knew you had to have the mattress roll, but so get my cell, what goes on in the cell stays in the cell, right? And I kind of gave him the rundown, hey, this is how we're going to do it. And he was down for that for the most part, you know. Of course, man, he wasn't trying to be all high-powered. He got that way, though, eventually. Then he didn't know how to act. Then he faked a heart attack and got on. But anyway, so trip out. So the Vato was there, and I just knew it was going to be bad business, man. He got in there. He was very disrespectful as far as using the toilet. He didn't make no courtesy flushes. The motherfucker smelled like straight mierda. The whole cell was cagada up. Oh my God. Every time he used to jump off his bunk to get on the toilet, bro, I already knew it was going to be all bad for several hours, right? And I was just like, damn, bro. And I tell him, hey, hit it with the courtesy flush. What's that, right? Right? He's over there fucking it up. Just wasn't as clean as he could have been, and was probably the fucking snored like fucking louder than me. I snored. This Vato was like a chainsaw. It was like living with fucking Harry from the Hendersons, the Bigfoot. It was a bad situation. Okay, a very bad situation. But I had to deal with that. And I remember, so quietly as it's kept, the rules in prison are, you know, once you and your cellie start living together and you guys are maintaining that friendship, that relationship, homes, you guys, there's things that go on in that cell, homes, that is kept between you guys. Not no weird shit. I'm talking about if something comes in that cell, homes, you guys come up. So if you choose to indulge, you indulge. If you don't, you don't. Whatever the case may be. Now, I wasn't really into that, man. I was adamant against drug usage and things of that nature. That's just the way I've always been, and that's the way I was laced and indoctrinated as a young Norteño striving. But one day the homeboy gets there from the town, man. He's my neighbor, and he's like, hey, bro, I brought a paqueta for you and the homeboy Porky, which was downstairs, which was one of my taitas homes that actually pulled me in Merced. He was downstairs. So, of course, I start getting that Porky sign language. What's up, brother, right? And I said, and he sees the homeboys, what's up, the little homie? And the little homie was just doing a quick turnaround, bro. He was on a quick little month violation. He was going to be in and out, but he left me some fucking shoes, home, some what were those Air Force One high top all whites. He left me those, and he brought me a little thing. Right now the little thing consisted of a little yay orale, right? He left me a little bit of that, and so I get at the homeboy, hey, I got your micha, I got your half, bro, I'm gonna shoot your line. Of course, we hook up with the lineas, I shoot him his, and him being a bigger homeboy than me, actually being my younger homeboy from my hood, but actually a homeboy that been striving in the game longer than me as far as being a Norteño for the Nuestra Raza. You know, I asked for his guidance, bro, in certain situations. And I'm like, what's up, bro? Should we forward it to the house? He's like, hell no, bro. Fucking do you, homes. This is a dead end thing. Right? And so I tell myself, hey, trip out. You know what I mean? You want to do a gagger? Right? And I wasn't really into that at that time, you know? And I was just kind of testing his waters. And his Vato jumped off his bunk faster than I ever seen him jump off. And he was like, hell yeah, right? And I said, you know what? Look, trip out. I don't get down like that, bro. If you want a little something, I brought it to the cell, bro. I already asked you. I'm going to let you get it. Well, quiet as Captain Vato was begging me all night. Hey, let me get another one, right? And I just didn't like to get down. I seen the tweaker ways, homes. I seen the attitude. I seen the griminess, bro, and it just wasn't cool. Well, eventually it got to the point in that cell where me and this motherfucker just stopped talking, bro. You know, I wasn't trying to bully the homeboy or be mean to the homeboy. I had very little words for him. You know, nothing sunk in his mind, homes. He wasn't grasping the education. He wasn't with the get down. I was already at the point of striking him up and booking him and getting him the fuck up out my cell, right? But I always try to give the homeboys the benefit of the doubt. And him being a first termer, he didn't know no better, right? But I was trying to lace him up, but he wasn't grasping. He didn't think enough to understand, homies, that it's time to learn. Vato, Sasuke, you're going to probably high desert and they're gonna fucking stab you 100 times. That's just how they get down over there. He wasn't thinking. So eventually it got to the point, man, where I just continued to do my thing. He wouldn't even post up on the door for me anymore. And I wasn't going to strike him. Who was I going to strike him up to? The OA? The OA would have fucking had him killed, right? I wasn't going to do all that. So I just dealt with it. I knew eventually he was either going to get shipped out to the mainline or I was, right? One of us was leaving pretty soon. So I was just going to deal with it. I wasn't going to rock the boat, make waves, or make noise, right? Well, watch out. This fucking Vato one day, he's telling me, and he's just a slick motherfucker. He ingrains it in my mind first thing in the morning. As soon as we fucking do, they start doing the gallo, right? They wake everyone up. So I was trying to roll your mattress, get to function. I like to get my burpees and knocking them up out the way first thing in the morning, homes. That way we're done for the day. So I was bam, bird back, clean up. You know what it is. Boom. It's time to kick back, hit some reading material, educate yourself, start writing wheelas. I was a very busy individual. There was no room for the weak or the weary at that point. I was asked upon the household to do a lot. So, of course, this day wakes up, hey, bro, my heart's hurting for some reason. I don't know. I got a sharp pain right here. It's from here all the way to here. So, your heart's not even that big. I know, but I don't know. It might be the muscles around the heart. I don't know. I'm heartless anyway, right? What? Anyways, so he ingrained it, bro. He planted that seed. That was a nice little slick move he did. So, of course, when it comes to workout time, he's like, bro, I'm going to have to sit this one out and just get mine later, bro. I'm not feeling too good. So, of course, I said, it's all good, bro. You know what I mean? I'll fucking get down home. You just stay on your bunk. That gives me more room to fucking wiggle while I work. Handle my little 122 counts, get them up out the way, and start writing this fucking wheelie that I have to write to the fucking, to the OA. I had to give him my fucking, my tier report. And anyways, so this Vato fucking, he's having the heart pains all day. I told him, hey, maybe you want to hit the black up, something, bro. I don't know what to tell you, bro, but you don't look right. And it wasn't he looking right. He was doing this. And, he just kept on making noises, bro, and aggravating me. And it was to the point, like I said, I didn't even talk to this motherfucker that much. Trip out. So the Vato ends up hitting up a placa when they come by. Hey, I'm not feeling too good. My heart, my lungs, too. So, okay. Now that I think about it, it's my lungs, my heart, and my pancreas, right? He started getting in depth. So anyways, the placa's like, hey, I'm going to take you emergency medical. And let's just say that was the last I seen of him. Supposedly he had a heart attack and I never ran into him again. He never came back. He found his way to get up out of there. So he was tired of doing 122s. And I guess he wanted to shit fucking in peace. Whatever the case may be, bon voyage, vamonos. The homeboy fucking Cisco from Sunnyvale came in and we partied like it was 1999. That was a righteous ass homeboy. One of the best Cellies I ever had. Shout out to the homeboy Cisco, the Sunnyvale. We did our thug thizzle, man. Straight up. Real righteous homeboy. Okay, now let me tell you about this last Cellie that I had, man, that it just was fucking just too much, bro. So they bring a little cat in there, right? A little small, and he's a first termer too. I'm sitting there and tracing. I'm like, damn, bro, who am I going to get sold up with? They had just fucking took the fucking, the Uso, the one that fucking we and him didn't gel too good with, right? They had just took him, so I had a couple of days of fucking rest, like, finally, right? It's all good in the hood. And crack door, whatever, right? Oh, fuck. Here comes this little skinny young kid, and I think, okay, he's a little youngster, man. He don't pose a threat or nothing like that. But Sasuke, now I got to put my thinking cap on. Now it's going to time to be a maestro again and teach this guy, right? Let's see if he's susceptible to education. And he was, right? But he was just a little too susceptible. This Vato, I told him, so look at, watch out, whenever you sit on the toilet, you make sure that he went and sat on the toilet. I said, what are you doing? You need to take a share or what? No, I thought you told me to sit on the toilet. Oh, bro, one of these. Anything I told him, I'd be chopping up with the homeboys. They shit your linea. He'll jump up like, what, you need me to do something? You need me to grab? Calm down, relax, bro. Also, it's not that serious. Post up at the window, make sure the placas ain't coming. Quietly as it's kept, it wasn't necessarily that he was the worst of the worst Cellies, man, because I had worse after him, man, and I'll talk about that in a part 2 or something. But it's just when you have someone, bro, that's just trying to do too much but not doing enough, bro, it just gets aggravating and tiring after a while. You're like, so just fucking unroll your mattress and fucking go. Put your mattress over your head. Let them go to sleep. You know what I mean? I'm trying to handle business here, and you're impeding the progress of what I'm trying to do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I was probably the best Cellies. I probably had Cellies that said, fuck, I hate Gunner. That motherfucker sucked, right? Just based on, bro, I was too into the business of the Norte, right? I was too ingrained. I wasn't super high power, bro, but I was strictly by the book. You feel me? If the homeboys to shoot the linea, I was the first one to shoot it, you know. And Tomboy said, hey, we got a hot one coming. You know, we got a one time coming. Orale, one time for your mind. Bam. I was always on it, bro. That's just the way I was raised. Coming from Merced County Jail, bro. We're different over there. We fully function. Okay, we fully fucking function. That's the way that county jail is laced, man. On the block, there's some real hitters, and real hitters are really getting down, and they're really getting with the business, and they lace you up game tight so that when you go to Tracy, which was our reception, or you go to prison, you already know how the Norteño movement moves. Now, of course, it's different every time because you're going to have different individuals running in a different way. But for the most part, the get down is real. And they knew if you were coming from Merced County, you were already laced up. So you usually got put in a position of COC or something of that nature. That's just usually what happened. I'm not going to say everybody did that, but I'm saying for the most part, most did, man. We're a very well-respected very well-respected city when it comes to the organization. Anyways, so trip out. So I remember the day I was leaving, man. I was shipping out, and I was going to Jamestown, which was fucked up because I already knew it was a bad yarda. So I knew I was going to have to get off when I got that yard. So I got that on the back of my mind. Shit, man, I'm going to get there. I don't know the makeup of this yard. I fucking got to get off. It's all good, man. And my mind's already made up. I'm going to handle my business as soon as I fucking see the first one smoking. And this was basically, I think it was a 50-50 yard at the time. So there was non-active Northerners there. There was Bulldogs, Southerners. So I said, as soon as I see someone I don't like, I'm going to get off. You know, any type of Chicano that's there, bro, I know he's no good. I'm going to wiggle while I work. I ain't even going to ask questions. So this is playing on my mind, and he's asking me, hey, where you going? How is it? I'm like, I don't know, man. Fuck, shit. Calm down, bro. Hey, where am I gonna? You think I'll go there? Am I gonna see you? So I was, okay, I'm gonna have canteen as soon as I get there. Hey, you need some soup? Shoot the soups, right? And it's all good. But it just was and you know what? I'm not mad at him for striving for the education, for asking questions, man. That's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, I was getting shut the fuck up. And in that fashion, you feel me? Give me a chance to wiggle. What I have my own fucking problems to worry about. So I'm trying to get out too. But whatever the case may be, man, whenever you find yourself in a bad situation with a bad cellie, you just make the best of it and know that there's nothing you could do about it. What the pobrecito, I'm sorry. I've heard horror stories, you know, where cellies don't get along and they kill each other. You know, I'm going to tell you a story right now. Trip out on this. Same time, I'm in Tracy set up with that youngster. And there's a little white boy that's next door to us. And he's pushing wood. You know, he's from the wood pile or whatever. He's just a youngster. You can tell he's a first termer. He ain't never been nowhere, man. And a bus comes in from High Desert. And some big old skinhead looking wood comes in all tatted back, right? You could just tell this motherfucker's been everywhere from Old Folsom to Centinela. He's not playing, right? And he's coming from High Desert, so he's up there where they're really making fucking shit crack, right? And as he comes up the stairs, I'm kind of looking at him because they say new arrivals on J. I'm on J Wing at the time. I'm looking at him like, all right, I see this motherfucker poses a threat, right? He comes walking up the stairs, kind of looks at me, gives me a little nod, whatever, and goes right next door. So, of course, I'm here hustling, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm trying to look out for the safety and security of the casa and the people. So I'm trying to hear, man, and he's telling this blacker, hey, I got a cell alone. You know, I'm on single cell living, man. I can't sell up with this guy, you know. And the youngster's in there, and I can hear him scurrying around like a mouse, right? And he's getting ready for a cellie to come in, and the Vato's like, hey, he's telling the CO, I can't go in there. Man, if I go in there, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fucking kill this motherfucker, man. Don't put me in there. I can't have no cellies. I ain't had cellies for 9 years, right? And of course, the placa that's there, he just wants to go. So it's dinner time. His wife is making spaghetti con chorizo. He's ready to fucking go home. And in that fashion, he has a blowjob with his name written all over it, right? By his boyfriend. So he's ready to jam. So he's like, look, trip out. You need to just go in there in the morning. Your captain or whoever will be here, your tier officer, you could talk to him and figure that out. And he's like, I'm telling you right now, if you put me in. Now, of course, looking back on it now, he is basically dry snitching on himself. I ain't taking nothing from the man because you go see how the story plays out. But he was telling him, I ain't trying to go up in there with that little motherfucker, right? Of course, quietly as it's kept, you don't get everything you want in prison. So basically, you don't get nada. Door cracks, they throw them in there, right? It's chow time in the morning. We're rolling our mattresses up. It's time to get our oranges, our fucking tuna sandwiches, and our fucking little cookie, right? And all of a sudden, man down. Of course, this Volta's like, can I get an extra cookie? And his cellie's over there leaking in the corner. He choked him out, broke his neck, did whatever he did, man. And he told the placas, he warned them, okay? Now imagine having a cellie like that. Imagine you're in the cell and your fucking cellie's out there saying, if you put me in there, I'm going to kill him. And he's a big old beast. Holmes, and you're a little skinny old dude. And you don't even know where you're at yet. You can't spell Tracy. That's the situation that man went through. And it's a sad situation, you know, at best. But it happens. Anyways, that's just a little story about a few cellies that I had that were not good and a few that were pretty good, man. Some of my worst cellies. I have many, many more, and we'll get to that in a different part. Maybe part 2 we'll touch on this. Anyways, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about hustling for your family. And if you're going to get incarcerated, spend some, you just got to deal with whoever they put you in there with. Sometimes it ain't all that. Sometimes it's cool. You just never know. Bang, bang, the gun.